Welcome back to another part of figuring out RSMF, Relativity's short message format. Today, we're going to see what other changes I've made to the app. So, onto the screen. On the last video, I created this simple app that generates a JSON file based on some dummy data, and then it makes it a zip-based 64. So what we need next is we need to load our data that we're going to be working with into something we can visualize. I always like to visualize my data. I don't want to just stream it from a DAT file and output it somewhere. Plus, we're also going to need to see, we need to do field mappings, right? Because if we have a DAT file, we need to know what field goes with which field in the text message format. So here's what I did. I added a little section over here where we can load a DAT file. So let me grab a path, paste it here, and click on the load DAT, and bam! We got our doc ID, control number, and so on. So now we can actually look at the data we're working with, right? So that's going to be helpful in figuring out what fields we're going to be using for the conversion process, right? So if we have a doc ID, we can use it as an ID for an event, for example, right? And then we need a field for a type. So which field is going to be for type? So we'll need to figure all that out. And as the person is setting up this conversion process, that hopefully is what we're building here, it would be helpful to see the data, right? Because I mean, we could have them load this into like a concordance or something, but that's not great. So next, we're gonna need some kind of field picker, right? And there are a couple of ways of doing it. And so you can do sort of like a drop down, which is what a lot of companies do. However, there are gonna be lots of these, right? And you're gonna have to click, scroll down, pick, oh wait, no, click, scroll down. So what I'm thinking of is doing something like this, where you can always see the fields and you just scroll up and down. Oh no, I want this one. Oh, did I select folder? Oh, I meant from. Okay. And so make just a bunch of these go across. I know it sounds a little weird. It's probably going to get a little clunky as far as UI. But maybe that's actually going to be good. I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it for development, or maybe it'll be in a separate screen for configuration and you can save a preset, but we're not even anywhere close to that yet. We're still trying to sort of figure out what's going on here. Now, what I was going to do is I was going to generate a new JSON based on this, and I was going to hard code all the fields. But I figured that's just doing a lot of work twice. And at this point, I have a lot of confidence in going full at it and building a converter. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to build a DAT file to RSMF converter. Basically, that's what I'm building, right? So let me poke around on this some more. Let's see what I can come up as far as user interface. Maybe see what kind of other improvements I can make, and I'll update you. Welcome back. After considerable time later, I've built this monster here. All right, this does look kind of crazy. So we have all the fields that are required. They're going across. And I have my grid in the middle, my JSON over here. And so what we can do is we can load data into the grid and basically do the same thing as before. And we've already done that, so I don't want to bore you with that. The next thing I did is I took my project. So if you look on the right, is I split my user interface from my logic. Right, so what's going to happen is my user interface is the form, and anything that does work goes into a separate project. The reason for that is I'm going to compile that part into a DLL. I'm sure you guys know what DLLs are, right? So user interface is going to be separate, and all the if-thens and all the thinking, all the brain work is going to be packaged up into a DLL, and then the user interface is going to call that DLL in order to do the JSON creation, sort of say, right? The reason I'm doing this is I want to be open as far as what I'm going to do with this in the future. So maybe I will take this DLL and I will add it to my Batch Guru application, right? So then Batch Guru will be able to generate these files, or I can use a Windows application to generate these files. So I'll have a lot of options. I just have basically what I'm building is like API for myself, right? That I'm gonna use to generate these files. So this needs tons of work, of course, and I'm gonna keep working on this. Couple of things that came to my mind is the question I was thinking about is why EML? What's this wrapper for? And what I'm thinking is if you take the RSMF file and process it with application that doesn't support that file format, well, it'll be able to parse the EML and it'll extract all the from to information, subject, and so on. So if you can take your conversation and also put it into the body of a message, what you'll get is you'll get a file format that's kind of compatible with applications that are not designed to open it specifically, but you still be able to get the data, right? You'll have your EML file with the body, which can contain all the conversations, and then it'll have that zip file, which contain the JSON file. Well, you don't know what the JSON file is, right? So the software will not know, but you can ignore it. But inside that zip file, there are also going to be all attachments. So in a way, you're able to give somebody RSMF file, and that includes pretty much everything. And if someone decides to support this file format, well, there you go, it works. So that's my thinking behind it. I have a list of questions that I put together, and I emailed them to development team at Relativity. So what we're doing is setting up a call, and we're gonna have a conversation about all my questions, and hopefully they'll help me clear them up. I think that's it for this update. Hopefully on the next update I will have something that we can take a big dat file and just run it through and see some kind of results. Yeah, unless Relativity folks tell me, I'm doing everything wrong, so something like that. Yeah, okay. I'll see you in the next one.